Guys, today I have a mailbag for you. I'm super excited. I've been sitting on these since Saturday, so it's been really hard. I had some family shit come up. Not shit, just, family stuff I had to deal with, so that's why I'm a little late this week getting some stuff, some videos made at least. So I got a mailbag. I got some original art from Tom Bunk. Always a good day when you get something in from Tom. I've got a cheap toy, a very rare cheap toy. Got a little card here from another collector. Also have the Almanac. Now, I'm not going to be doing my Almanac video today, but I am going to give you a reaction on the Almanac. So let's get started. So today's topic is a small one. Now, it's very big, but it is sort of a short one, and it's about guilt. So I have a lot of Christmas guilt. I have this every year. I don't know why it just keeps coming back. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I have, or I'm just going to explain what this guilt is and how I'm dealing with it, okay? Anyway, as always, we save the topics for the end because who really gives a shit when you have goodies like this coming in? Let's start with the Tom Bunk here. Let's figure out how to open this here. I think I'll do the little zip. It's very satisfying to find the zip in these and then just zip it along the line. You ready? Okay. This is kind of a, just a, well, it's not like a final piece of art, but it is, I think, fairly significant. Definitely GPK. And with Tom, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be GPK because he did work with Wacky Packages, he did work with Mad, and he has all these underground comic pieces he did, and he also has his own personal art. So this isn't always going to be GPK if you see a package from Tom. Oh, that's really nice. I don't think I have that one. Okay, there we go. I believe this character's name is Polluted Paul. That's not the name I remember calling this character, but actually, it might be on here. Toxic Wayne, yeah, Toxic Wayne is how I remember him. But anyway, yeah, very cool. This is the initial concept. OS 15, not published. So I'm sure everyone knows what this character is. It's basically the guy swimming in like a toxic pond or like a retention pond or whatever. And his body is being disintegrated under the water. But on top of the water, he's fine because it's not contaminated. So, but in this concept piece, he wanted to try it as a bust, sort of like a semicolon or someone like that, like a bust style. And let's all be thankful that he went with the concept he went with. I think the one that was used is much better than this. But yeah, super cool to have. Pretty cool to see him as a bust. It makes me wonder, though, like some of the other Garbage Pail Kid characters, would they have been better as a bust? Now, with Potty Scotty, we needed his toilet in the picture because that's part of the gag. So that wouldn't have worked. And what I'm talking about, would Potty Scotty work as a bust? As a close-up of his face, you know what I'm saying? So with Potty Scotty, no, it wouldn't have worked. Adam Bomb would have worked, I think, because you still have the gag of the bomb going off of his head, but it wouldn't be as good, right? So when you're talking about Garbage Pail Kid art, they had to go through these thought processes, and would they look good as close-ups or far away, and what details to put around them. All right, let's put him in the back and get to the next one. Yeah, you're basically seeing my Monday mailbag today on Wednesday due to some family stuff. So I'll tell you, even after all these years, it's really hard for me to sit on items like unopened. Like I had to look at these packages. It was really hard to wait. All right. This should be a very rare cheap toy from... Sorry, I don't want to show you his name. from Finland. All right. Yes, I still buy cheap toys. So I bought actually 3 this month. I bought 2 Novos that I opened on here, and then this one. What will it be? Now, some people might be having a heart attack here. No, this is not the Novo. Now, it is a floater. Remember that the cheap toys that float, and I'll show you. I'm prepared today. Let's do the test. Now, if this floats, this toy will be instantly worth way more than one that sinks. And there she is. Very nice. And who really gives a shit if it floats? Does that really matter? No, it doesn't matter. It's just that the rare, for whatever reason, the rare ones, the rare foreign cheap toys came in a type of plastic that floats. And so if you ever buy cheap toys, throw them in a bucket of water or whatever. You know, don't throw them in your Starbucks, but throw them in something and see if they float. One of my favorite stories of all time was told to me by Jason Wisdom. He's no longer a collector, so I can talk about him. Him and another collector bought this big collection of cheap toys. And when they bought it, they said this guy opened the back of a van and pulled out this huge bag of cheap toys. Anyway, Jason and the other collector took it to a hotel room and dumped them in a bathtub and turned on the water and to see if any floated. And that's just one of my favorite stories. I just can imagine these two collectors in this, cheap hotel room, huge collection of cheap toys, dumping them in this bathtub just to see if there were any floaters in there. And by the way, I don't think there were, but that collection, the one I'm talking about, has some very significant U.S. rares in it. So the point is, even if it doesn't float, it's still going to be, there's a chance it could still be valuable. Now, this is what we call a cinnamon Alice, and I actually already have a cinnamon Alice. So why did I buy it? Well, I bought it because I have impulse spending issues, and I'm just a hoarder, and I have a lot of problems with spending, and I'm obsessed with cheap toys, and it's been like this for almost 20 years now. But anyway, here you have 2 cinnamons. Now, one thing I'm noticing is my newest one here is a little more red. You can see it here in the camera, actually. See how it's a little more red than this one? There was a theory a long time ago that there was 2 types of cinnamon. There was a UK red, we called it, and there was a cinnamon. Now, we debunked this because, I don't know if I can show this, but there's little specks of brown. Yeah, you're probably not going to see it on my phone. But if I showed you sort of a see-through picture, there's a little specks of brown in this red, and that's why we call it cinnamon. And so even with the supposed UK reds, man, you can really see the difference there. Even with the UK reds, there's still specks in them. And so I've still kind of hung on to the idea that there's 2 different types of red cinnamons. But you got to understand there's only like 3 people in the hobby who would care about this difference. And I might be the only one that cares. I really don't know about these other people, honestly, anymore. But, so he really gives a shit. But anyway, the point is there's 2 cinnamon Alices, and really happy to have those. Let's just put them all in there. They probably need a bath. I'm constantly playing with these. Yeah, and those are your UK floaters. While I have these out, the most expensive one is by far the Heather. She goes for around $500. She has sold for around $1,000 before. The other one is Alice. She goes for around $350 typically. I've seen her go for around 500 at different times. The prices on these fluctuate depending on how obsessed the collector is at the time they come available. But yeah, super cool. Adam, by the way, is, like 300. Now, if you look at the Almanac price guide, those prices I just gave you might differ from the price guide. That in itself is just a clue of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a market of super rare collectibles. It's hard to put a fucking number on it. All right. Anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna put this here. Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat today. I mean, you got a piece of original art. Yes, it's not a painting, but it's nice to have a little pencil sketch there. And you got a rare cheap toy. And let's see what else we got. So I got this letter in. Not sure if this is personal or not. I know it's Christmas time. Okay, so speaking of this, my little topic today, I had to have a topic or I'll just kind of spin out or I'll go into some sort of rant or something weird. I kind of started doing it with the cheap toys just then because I didn't plan to talk about cheap toys. But anyway, I deal with a lot of guilt around this time of year. Okay. All right, so got some cards in. Sorry, just trying to figure out what this is exactly. See our little logo there. Oh, okay, those are different. Okay, got a little refractor or whatever, and a little chrome card. I said this the other day. I mean, a lot of us. We can make all this ourselves. We don't need Topps. Topps is actually in the way of us really reaching our collecting dreams and goals. I mean, honestly, I can almost make all this by myself. Just me alone. I mean, I make a lot of cards and shit myself. I do run into some roadblocks. My biggest roadblock is money. I don't usually have a huge chunk at any given time. I have to kind of plan for things. But boy, if I had, a big savings account, I could pretty much become Topps. Some little side, like a little Topps 2.0 kind of thing. But yeah, we can make all these cards ourselves. You can obviously see. There's really nothing we can't make in our hobby. I mean, really, it's ridiculous. Okay, I also want to show you the Almanac here. Now, I did open it, and all I did was I flipped to, there's a printing error in the Almanac, and I flipped to it to just see what the error was, and I didn't look at it because I wanted to give you kind of like a true reaction, okay? Let me move this shit. Now, that's really cool. Thanks, guys, at Deal or No Deal. Okay. Clearing my space. All right. Again, it's like, Rush, you already opened it. How is this a legit reaction? I swear to God, I opened it, and I went to where the error was. There it is right there. That's all I did. I put it back because I also did catch myself. I don't want to study this. I want to give a real reaction. Here it is. Beautiful. Let me get this set up here. Okay, so beautiful colors. My first reaction is, wow, this is a thing. This is an actual zine. This is an actual thing, a physical copy. You can't really beat a physical copy. I mean, when you make something physical, it just makes it more real. It's just how it is, I love the cover. I love the choice of characters, Slasher Asher by Lowell Isaac. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Another thing I'm noticing is how legit this is. I mean, I'm just seeing volume 1, issue 5. When you see stuff like this, it's like, oh, there's been 4 more. Wait, this is volume 1? Does that mean there's going to be a whole new volume? and it asks the question, how many issues go into a volume? Now, my guess is 10. So if I was, I'm not in control of any of this, but just looking at what we have here, I would go to 10. But again, like, who cares what I think? But I'm just talking. Another thing I'm noticing, I love this thing here, this banner. Everything's great. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of things that you can overlook if you're not really paying attention. Even some of the drips on the marketplace is really nice. But also this background here, there's a lot going on in this. A lot of work goes into this almanac. Okay. Now, I have not looked at any of this yet. This is my first reaction. Okay. Looking at these names, I know almost everybody on here, of course. Wow. I did, but I hadn't seen these names together in one. Yeah, so I guess this is the team here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read this by myself while you just, like, leave you hanging. But, okay, so beautiful. These could have been a little sharper. They're a little faded on here, but that's okay. I do a lot of graphic work. I know what goes into it. I know how hard it is, especially when you're dealing with scanning and fucking pictures, and it's a lot of work. But no, it looks really good. It's fine. Oh, but anyway, this is, let's see, rules checklist. Not sure what that means. Okay. Oh, wait, is this like for the group? Oh, dude, this is like rules for the group. This is rules for the marketplace. Okay, so one thing is, I don't look at almanacs. I'm talking about the Farmer's Almanac. Like, the only time I've ever looked at one is for the fishing moon. Like when I go on fishing, I'll look at like an almanac online at, the moon cycles or whatever to see if it's a good day to go fishing. And it's amazing how accurate it is. But as far as what else goes into an almanac, I don't really know. So I don't have many expectations going into reading this. Except it is called an almanac. So if I'm being honest, when I first saw the very first almanac, or when I first saw them talking about an almanac, I wasn't in love with this, the concept of it. But the truth is, I don't know what else to call this. I mean, guide. Should it be called Garbage Pail Kid Marketplace Guide? I guess that is kind of generic. So I'm not saying I have a better name for this whole series, but okay, let's take a look here. This is the Rankathon. Oh yeah, I remember this, where we picked out our favorite characters. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's really good graphic work. Make sure you're always taking into that you're really paying attention to the colors. Like, look how they chose the green and the yellow to match the OS3. I mean, these are like really nice little touches. And that's one thing I noticed so far, is all the nice little touches. There's so much going into this. Even this little color change here is nice. There's just a lot of information already in this thing. I can't help but stop right here because I'm not really agreeing with some of these choices, but it's okay. Not sure why Bruce Lee is so high. Anyway, it's fine. No, the worst OS3 is Target Market. She is absolute. This is really cool. So I did see a picture of this before this was released. This is really cool. It's for the the GPK game here. I love how legit this looks. It looks like something you would see in the the mid to late 80s, like an ad from the 80s. And there's a lot of thought that went into some of these the writing and stuff and the layout. And here we get to the price guide. So I was asked to come up with a cheap toy price guide. And here it is. I will be talking about this in a different video. Today I'm just looking at the layout of this. So really nice. All right, there he is, little Isaac. Wow, this is beautiful. One of the most dramatic artists we've ever had in Garbage Pail Kids. Just amazing. We were so lucky to have him. I told some collectors that right when he came into the hobby, I just could see how blessed we were to have him just in our category. Look at that. Beautiful. I would love to watch him sketch one of these. I don't know that he's ever done that, where he's done a live sketch of a Garbage Pail Kid. Wouldn't you love to see his process? It might be something that's, trademarked, or something he might not want to show you. Oh, so nice. Yeah, I haven't read this, so I'm not going to sit here and read this, but yeah, today my reaction, this thing is it's just legit. That's the word that comes into my mind. It's just so official, man. It's beautifully laid out. It looks professional. That's a word I would use as well. I don't like that word, but it is very professional. The people putting this together knows exactly what they're doing. Wow, what's not to like about this page? So many great pieces. Yeah, he does the best atom bombs I've ever seen. I don't even see the atom bomb. But, yeah, I love his atoms. Yeah, these are so cool. All right, and so this is my little collector spotlight page. I'll come back and talk about some of this stuff. Today I just doing just a reaction. So yeah, beautiful. So I made a comment right when I started about a picture being blurry. What was it? Right here. You know what? As I'm going through this, what I'm seeing is it's not really blurry, because there's an overall aesthetic to this. It's almost like a matte finish. So I don't think that was blurry at all. It's just my eyes are getting adjusted to this print. So the print isn't blurry at all. It just has this really nice, soft, matte finish here. Yeah, this is totally an old picture. That's a new picture. I don't like showing my face, obviously. Yeah, this looks really good. Of course, I'm going to love this stuff, But this is stuff I have to live with every day, We're all living with our collection. Wow, look at this. I bet something like this took almost as much time as entire pages back here. I mean, honestly, there's so much graphic work that goes into something like this. First of all, just like thinking of it, then deciding what graphic, he had to make it black and white, what style of shading goes into this. I've been down this road myself, making, bootleg cards. And so I really appreciate something like this. There's so much work that goes into this stuff. And we're to the back here. I mean, how nice is this? Hottest unsigned artist. I bet these people are thrilled, just thrilled to have their name here. And the thing here is, not only is their name here, but it's attached to the word artist, and they have to be thrilled. I mean, what other what other collectible gives artists the chance, like we do in Garbage Pail Kids, to call themselves an artist, to be highlighted like this, to be printed in an almanac like this? I mean, and then anyway, it ends here. Yeah, this is an article I wrote with Mark Newgarden, my buddy Mark, and I'm really proud of it. We decided to not put his name here in the end because of how the article changed while we were writing it. I was quoting Mark so much that it would have been weird for me to put his name here as a co-author. And so in the end, after all the revisions, and I had to go back and switch some things out, but we made it so that I was talking about Mark Newgarden instead of like talking with Mark Newgarden. And so it is what it is. And I think it turned out really good. This article has been proofed so many fucking times by so many people, so I'm not really worried about anything in it. Make sure you read this. I will be coming back to do a whole different video just on this article alone, because I need to tell you some things, historical things I really want the hobby to know before I leave. All right. Anyway, the almanac ends here with a custom card. That's going to get some people in the door, right? You know, a lot of these groups on Facebook, that's how they're surviving. They're having to give away things, have giveaways and raffles, and because there's so many groups, it's hard to stand out. And so, you know, now I'm not calling this a cheap shot by giving a free thing away, because, you know, with magazines, they do this a lot. They'll give away free cards and stuff. So I think that is a very organic upgrade. I think this definitely matches the theme of Garbage Pail Kids, to give away a card. Another thing I think these guys should do is have signed copies. Like, why not have Lowell Isaac sign copies, and then the guys at Marketplace could sell the signed copies? Like, you could have a fucking signed copy of this. That would be amazing. So that's something they can do. There's a lot of improvements they could do moving forward. But yeah, I'm super impressed by this. I wanted to give you guys just a true reaction video to the almanac, and I'm just so impressed. Just everything. It's just beautiful. My regret is I don't have the other almanacs, so I never did buy the old almanacs. I did, you know, I do sometimes go back and look at them digitally, but I don't have the physical ones. And these things, listen guys, these things, I can tell you firsthand, these are made in super limited qualities. You know, the guys making these, they're not sitting on, you know, a bunch of back issues. They don't make a lot of these. It's very expensive to make these. They can't sit on a warehouse full of almanacs. So my point is, when they list these for sale, when they do the pre-order, you have to get in there. This isn't you don't have time to waste. Beautiful. Yeah, this shit's growing on me, man. Actually, yeah, look how legit. I mean, you can just see in this lineup of random things. It's real. I don't know why I keep saying that. Like, I'm just so happy how, like, real it is. Like, because this was made by people I know. Like, and this was made by someone I know. And you've seen stuff that I made, you know. This was made by someone I know. Oh, I made this. And just to see the stuff that we make in the hobby, it's just fucking amazing, really. You know? So it just feels good to be a part of that. And I'm definitely going to miss, you know, being a part of that, I would say. All right, guys. So, quick little thing. I do feel a lot of Christmas guilt. I'm sure a lot of you feel what I feel. So let me explain what it is exactly I'm talking about here. So last week I spent around, what would I spend last week? I spent around $1,700. It was all on myself. And here we are 3 weeks away from Christmas or so. I don't know where we're at, honestly. But I'm spending money on myself in the month of December. It doesn't feel good. So I don't know why I do it. I always feel guilty after. I don't know if you have a lot of buyer's guilt. But this, to me, is a little different than just pure buyer's guilt. It's like, this is Christmas. Like, I shouldn't be spending money on myself this time of year. This is what I'm talking about. So I don't know if anybody goes through that. I've never heard anyone talk about this topic before. It's probably too fucking painful, honestly. So let me just tell you where this starts. Not by what I'm doing wrong. Let me tell you what I should be doing, right? So I was raised Southern Baptist. Believe it or not, you probably think I'm like the son of Satan by the way I talk sometimes. I'm not. Nah. I'm actually a Christian person. I was raised in a home where you honor your wife and God. And anyway, around Christmas you should be thinking about your family. This is a time when you're focused on your family. You're not focused on Potty Scotty, right? You shouldn't be focused on polluted Paul. You should be focused on, your family and all that. So buying things around this time of year does not feel good in any sort of way. And I always kind of regret it, but I don't know how to change, man. The truth is, around Christmas, a lot of people get really desperate. They need money, and they start selling things. So if you're a sniper, if you're kind of an opportunistic buyer, this is the time of year you can actually buy some legit legacy items, man. Okay, so if you've been waiting to get a true, really great piece for your collection, hang out in these groups around December, even after Christmas, even after the new year. Hang out in these groups, and I guarantee you, you're going to see some stuff blow your mind. Like, bro, why are you selling that? They're selling it because they need money. Okay. And I've been there too. I've overspent around Christmas, and I've needed money, so I've had to sell some things back in the day that I didn't want to sell. And you just learn over time to hedge your collection. My collection is hedged with a massive hoard of vintage candy. And that's even hedged with Star Wars Legos and all this memorabilia and other stuff that I collect. So I'm not worried about like going broke and having to sell my Cinnamons, for example. I can just sell some other shit, right? But this time of year, it's a good time to be a buyer. But that's not the topic. I just feel a lot of guilt, man. Like I'm supposed to be shopping for my family, I would think. Not really shopping for my collection. And so you would think that there was 1 month a year we could take a break from spoiling ourselves to maybe spoiling some other people. But I don't know about you, but I struggle with it. It's like I can't take December off from collecting. I've always wanted to, but I always buy shit for myself this time of year. It's so tempting, isn't it? Because there's so many people who need money and they're willing to sell stuff because they're trying to get money for Christmas presents. I'm always just torn, And so this year is no different. I did it again. I've overspent on myself. I've already bought my Christmas presents for myself, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really sad, this cycle we're in. And I'm hoping to try to get out of it somehow or another. But probably can't. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed some of this shit. And just if you're going through any Christmas guilt, and what I'm talking about is spending money on yourself during Christmas time, when you're supposed to be spending money on your wife and your children and all these people. Your mom, for example. instead of shopping for your wife, you're shopping for your own collection. That's what I'm talking about. And all the guilt and shame that goes into that. And see, you wouldn't have ever known that had I told you right now. And no one really talks about this because it is so painful. But yeah, I'm going there because I'm going through sort of this quitting Garbage Pail Kid process. And so I'm trying to unpack all these little facets of my collection. What exactly am I quitting? What am I getting away from? What am I striving to get to? And I think it's a place of peace and a place of control. I feel a little out of control. So anyway, a lot of baggage there. I will be back to unpack the Almanac a little bit. I definitely want to go over the experience of writing an article with Mark Newgarden and some more insider stuff that didn't get put into the article that I want people to know. But yeah, I'm super impressed, guys. Great job here at Marketplace, and what an honor to be a part of it. I really appreciate it, guys. Just beautiful, beautiful shit. And it's just kind of funny to see. It's funny to see your shit, your shit like in something. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. It's just funny, man. Yeah. So hold on. So I had to write all this stuff, right? So I had to. I'm making sure they didn't mess it up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and talk about some of this stuff. Um, Damn. Dude, okay, so listen, I'll just say this right before I leave. So, like, I wrote this stuff, I believe it was October, or it's been a while. So I forgot, I forgot what I wrote, or, not, I don't remember everything I wrote. So I definitely want to come back and just comment on some of this stuff because I'm seeing some funny shit in there. All right. Very good. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Russ Van out. Does anybody need a cinnamon Alice? I got two.